up on the Real Housewives of New Jersey after show.
I just got one question about the physical violence where they're hearing.
I was like, oh my God, please don't talk. I don't want to hear.
Tiki Barber Walters did the asking, because that's what he does.
It's kind of a little bitch boy move.
Yes, usually guys don't do their woman's dirty work.
You hear more and more. Sometimes you just have to think.
This is not something that you take lightly.
Jen comes after people really hard.
Margaret comes after people too. What
What are you talking about?
What Margaret did is absolutely disgusting.
It was wrong. It was so hurtful.
Teresa's logic is totally, it makes absolutely no sense. And anything she can say to make Margaret the bad guy and make her and Jennifer in the clear, Teresa will say it, whether it makes sense or not.
The girl you're referring to?
Yeah.
I heard a rumor she stabbed her husband with a butcher knife.
Whoa. A butcher knife? That's some serious like Chucky?
That's a good sign for me to run, okay?
I'm out. See ya.
You just threw those drunk men for a loop.
It's so hard to do.
So, all right. So,
Oh my God.
He gave her a love scroll. I said it's like the Dead Sea Scrolls.
That was so beautiful.
A Dead Sea Scroll poem?
Listen, it's a lot. It comes on hard.
Louie's everything I've ever wanted and more.
Listen, Joe never wrote me a Dead Sea Scroll about how much he loves me.
Bravo Insiders, your Real Housewives of New Jersey after show starts right now.
How shocking was it to hear more rumors come out about Louie?
Based upon my times that I have met Louie, again, I was surprised.
He supposedly smacked around his girlfriend in front of her kids.
Whoever wrote this anonymous post also leaked a letter where Louie is apologizing for doing something awful.
I was surprised, and I had not seen these on social media, and I heard more and more. And listen, you hear more and more. Sometimes you just have to think.
Because now you hear all these things you have to think about, whoa, I wonder if that's real. I wonder if that really happened. You have to question the person saying no, and you have to question the person saying yes, and everyone has to make a decision in their own head who you're going to go and listen to. The only thing is, sometimes, if you have one person saying no, it never happened, and you have 50 people saying yes, it did, well, then maybe the 50 might be right.
I'm gonna tell her the truth. I did not read the letter. I'm sure, listen, whatever happened in that relationship is that relationship. However, I'm looking at viewing only Teresa and Louie's relationship. I know she may look vulnerable in this relationship to some because he came around and he like swept her off her feet, you know, the knight in shining armor. So I understand there's a vulnerability there, but the core of who she is, I don't believe would tolerate that for 1 second.
Listen, Teresa has 4 daughters. I'm going to say point blank, my father was abusive, physically abusive to my mother. It's not a good thing. And this is not something that you take lightly.
There was a lot of explaining to do for Louie that night. You know? And Tiki did press him.
I just got one question about the physical violence where they're hearing.
I thought, wow, this is an expose by Tiki. He was really going after it. I was almost shocked that he would try to dig so deep.
We call him Tiki Barber Walters. Tiki Barber Walters did the asking, because that's what he does.
It started from my toes when Tiki started talking, and it went through my entire body, like this feeling, like I felt like a ghost came through. You know, every you know, I don't know what I was feeling. I was like, oh my God, please don't talk. I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing anymore. What are the odds? What are the odds of all this shit, right? I'm like, my God. I dealt with one brother-in-law with all this nonsense, and then I got this new guy and my sister meets, and all this shit that comes out. Now I got to talk about it. Like, I don't want to say nothing.
Do you think Tiki was wrong to kind of bring that up at guys' night?
Oh, I think so, yes, 100%, like 1,000,000%.
It's kind of a little bitch boy move.
Yes, usually guys don't do their woman's dirty work. They just don't. And then again, I'm like, babe, you don't have to answer anybody back. You should have said, you know, if your wife has any questions, she should ask Teresa. Like, I wouldn't ask Louie to do my dirty work. If I wanted to find out something, I would ask the woman, you know, whoever I'm friends with. I would ask the girl instead of asking, oh, babe, can you ask Tiki Barber about if his affair really did happen that way? You know, I wouldn't do that. That's just not the way I roll.
Listen, I know she wants to be loved. I know she wants to be in love. I want her to be happy. She says she's happy. But when things like this come up, I'm sorry, that is a concern.
Margaret, what had you heard from Joe about what was talked about with Louie at guys' night?
He said the woman stabbed her ex-husband with a butcher knife.
A butcher knife? That's some serious
The girl you're referring to?
Yeah.
I heard a rumor she stabbed her husband with a butcher knife.
Whoa.
Was it self-defense? Was she coming at him? Like Chucky?
Put aside everything else. I'm like, Louie, I don't know about you, but that's a fucking sign for me to run. Okay? Seriously, why the hell are you sticking around? Well, you're only the next one to get it. All right?
It's pretty crazy.
As soon as if I was dating you and I heard that and she stabbed her husband, I'm out. See ya. I'm out of. Yeah, and that,
it's like basic
it's
instinct.
So if she stabbed her ex-husband with the butcher knife, why are you with her? Number two, he was trying to throw it off, like just basically discrediting her, trying to say she's a bad person. She stabbed her ex-husband with a butcher knife.
He was doing the Hector deflector.
But it just threw those drunk men for a loop. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, so hard to do.
I don't care about the room. I don't give a shit about Louie's past.
Teresa, you stick up for Jennifer in her absence at the spa day.
Oh, I was always going to stick up for Jennifer.
Jen comes after people really hard.
Margaret comes after people too. What are you talking about?
People think Teresa doesn't stick up for me, and I know that she does. I've seen her do it. So,
Teresa, do you think that people gang up on Jennifer in this group?
Teresa?
Yes.
Thank you.
But not when I'm around, let me tell you.
We need you to be around more.
What Margaret did is absolutely disgusting.
You always say Bill's the best. Listen, he had an affair.
jealous.
Everybody knows, and that's why he left his old job.
That is true.
It's lower than, like, it's lower than, like, yeah,
it's just so it's appalling. It's revolting.
It's like it is like what she did was despicable. It's absolutely disgusting. Lower than low. Like, you don't do
wrong.
that. That was so wrong.
It was wrong. It was so hurtful.
Yes, I mean it's
was
vile.
so
It's a vile thing to do to someone.
Does Teresa's condemnation of Margaret make sense in comparison to things her and Jennifer may have done?
No, the answer is no. No, it makes no sense. Teresa's logic is totally, it makes absolutely no sense. She's just trying to make what she did last year, which was so vile, seem okay.
Have you ever heard that Emin does stuff at the gym? Like what kind of stuff? Like when he goes to the gym, he screws around.
And anything she can say to make Margaret the bad guy and make her and Jennifer in the clear, Teresa will say it, whether it makes sense or not. And she thinks if she yells it enough or she says it forcefully enough that it's going to make it true.
The whole point was one happens to be a rumor and one happens to be a fact. Some people in this friend group don't know how to do comparisons or analogies because they compare things that aren't even in the same realm. And that's the difference. So I just don't even understand how you compare that.
Melissa, you seem a little wary to even bring up anything about the Louie rumors at the spa day.
I want her to stay in her love bubble. They should too, if they know what's good for them. Doesn't everybody want to enjoy the spa day?
I mean, listen, I know that when something's been said about Louie, it was just such a big priority for her to protect Louie and to make sure that no one says anything negative about him. And I know once she finds out that people are saying things, that all hell's going to break loose.
Were you shocked that it all hadn't really blown up at this point with Teresa?
I think sometimes it doesn't register right away. Teresa sits on it for a minute. She thinks about it and she processes it. And then usually, like within 24 to 48 hours, it comes out.
Teresa has like a 7-second delay, all right? Just because she doesn't respond in a certain way to something you said doesn't mean it's not going to happen shortly. All right. Then you realize 10 seconds later, boom. All right. It just caught on.
Teresa, would you say it takes you a little while to maybe realize you're mad about something?
Yeah, definitely do that. Like, I still, because now they're replaying the episodes back. Like, remember when she threw the cheese platter?
You just stuck up for your ex-husband when we were defending you. Yes. What the is wrong with you?
You don't understand, because I don't know how I didn't react. I was very calm that day. Like,
No, I think you were I think you were just shocked at some of the things that I think you were shocked at what Joe was saying to you about your husband.
Because, like, I would normally react with something like that.
Delayed reaction. Yes.
Yeah,
yeah.
Teresa, Dolores actually mentioned this last year on the after show.
Teresa still doesn't know that happened. Even though she was sitting there, it takes her a long time to process something.
What, about the cheese?
Yeah, like, I think that you were in a different place in your head right there.
Yeah,
but then,
yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad I didn't, because it's not what I want to show my children, especially with family. So, and I hope that it better never happen again, like any of that.
You don't want it anymore. It got so ugly for a point in your life that you don't ever want to go there again.
With family, I'm very loyal, and that's why, it's not, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not into that. I'm so not into that.
Teresa, we get to see your 1-year anniversary date where Louie pulls out all the stops.
That was so beautiful. It was like a fairy tale.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, Jen, wait till you see it. It was so beautiful. He surprised me, and
he even got you a saxophonist because he knows you played as a kid.
It's my favorite instrument, and he just got me a saxophone as a gift.
I used to play the violin, Tree.
Oh, I love that. So we got to play together. So now, since he got me a saxophone, I need to start taking saxophone lessons. I told him I was gonna take saxophone lessons.
He's very romantic.
Yeah, and he always wows me, and I'm always just like, oh my God, how am I gonna top that? You know what he does? He takes my breath away. He does, like in an amazing way.
I love that.
Listen, she's so happy. I mean, he did write her on the Dead Sea Scrolls. What did he write her, a love scroll?
So, all right. So.
Oh my God.
Typical Louie fashion. That's cute.
Wait, what did he do? Tell me a Dead Sea Scroll poem?
They went on a boat and he gave her a love scroll. I said it's like the Dead Sea Scrolls. He gave her a love scroll and listed all the qualities he loves about her.
Like, he opens it up like this?
Listen, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, he comes on hard. I mean, she loves that stuff. I don't want to make her feel bad.
It's new to her. It's new to her.
She loves it. I mean, listen, Joe never wrote me a Dead Sea Scroll about how much he loves me. I don't got that scroll hanging in my house.
Jen, wait till you see it.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I was.
You didn't tell me this?
Yeah, you'll see it. It was just so beautiful.
They're two people who are way into each other and they love each other.
I think it's actually very nice.
Can't say anything
It's
about
nice to see that.
It's almost like a high school couple, all right? In public, they hug, they kiss, this and that, and everything else. Like, you get a f***ing room.
To find someone who cares for you, loves you, and shows it, those are great things.
I love it. I love it because she really never had that. And, I love love. They're in their 40s, late 40s, but they act like they're teenagers, which is great. Let them live their life and let them enjoy. And anyone that knocks it, shame on you.
Louie's everything I've ever wanted and more. Like, I've always wanted someone to treat me the way Louie does. It's really beautiful. It really is. It's something that I've always wanted, and I finally got it.
Were you shocked to hear that David was still so present in Dolores' family's life, but not speaking to her?
On one hand, it's great. He wants to take care of Valerie, but it's also very hurtful because she's very sad about her mother. He hasn't called her.
I was, because it kind of sucks for Dolores, because it's like he's such a good guy and he's so good to like everyone around her, her children, her mother, everyone, her ex-husband, but like he's just not that great to her, which must be so frustrating.
I think he's sad. He lost a great thing, and that's why he doesn't want to talk to Dolores.
Yeah, I thought it was super awkward and very strange. Like, I think that once you end the relationship, I mean, I know he had been in her life for a while, but I just think it's sort of strange that the rest of her family maintained such a close relationship with him when, you know, she was moving on.
The fact that we relied upon David so much when it came to Dolores' mom, that's normal. That's normal. In fact, it wasn't only myself and my daughter and my son talking to David. It was the entire family would talk to David, because David would come back to us and not only speak to us in medical terms, but basically break them down into common terms so everybody understood.
It's okay. Actually, I'm okay with it. As long as, you know, my family's getting the information that they need from somebody they know to be comfortable with it. That's all that matters to me. I'm okay with that. You know, I was just happy to just be at peace with the status of the relationship at that point.
I think clearly that's what they do. Like, look at Dolores and Frank. No matter who comes into their life, like, they will always be super close to each other. So maybe that's just, you know, the dynamic they're used to.
And it's not as if, you know, Dolores and David are not together anymore because David was a bad guy. David just, you know, he's a doctor. He's a doctor and he loves his job. All right. And, you know, that's his number one love. That's just David. David is sometimes socially awkward, okay? But he's got a great bedside manner for a doctor, all right? And until you know him, like I know him like that, you know, some people do definitely misjudge David.